Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your kind attention, please? As we are about to commence the program immediately, I would request all of you to kindly take your seats. Please be seated. Before we progress, ladies and gentlemen, I request you to kindly switch your mobile phones to the silent mode. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a significant day for the Muthoot Group, our well-wishers, and our customers as we are about to launch this book. Well, it is not just a book. It's a celebration of the Juggernaut of a personality that Shri M.G. George Muthoot was. He was an entrepreneur who transformed an 800-year-old family-run business into a conglomerate with a strong national and international presence. He was the father figure who inculcated the principles of ethics, values, and trustworthiness in his 40,000-plus employees. By helming one of the largest non-banking financial company, he was bringing hope in the lives of hundreds of thousands of people who otherwise had little access to banking facilities. The exuberant personality he was, Shri George Muthoot left an indelible impression on those who met him. It's of little wonder that he had such a vast circle of friends, from different walks of life. Today, we revisit and relive the cherished memories of this truly magnificent personality by bringing together all those who were close to him. At the outset, we thank all of you for being with us here on this momentous occasion. എങ്ങനെ ഒരു നിക്ഷേപ സൗഹൃദ സംസ്ഥാനമാകാം എന്ന സജീവമായ ചർച്ചകൾ ഇന്നും നടക്കുന്ന സംസ്ഥാനമാണ് കേരളം. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ഒരു സംസ്ഥാനത്ത് ചെറിയൊരു ഗ്രാമപ്രദേശത്ത് നിന്ന് പതിറ്റാണ്ടുകൾക്ക് മുൻപ് തൻ്റെ മുതശ്ശനാൽ ആരംഭിക്കപ്പെട്ട ഒരു ചെറു സംരംഭത്തെ ഇന്ന് ലോകം മുഴുവൻ അറിയപ്പെടുന്ന ഒരു നാമധേയമാക്കി വളർത്തിയ അതുല്യ പ്രതിഭ അഭൂതപൂർവമായ വളർച്ച കൈവരിച്ചപ്പോഴും സ്വന്തം നാടിനെ, വിശ്വാസ പ്രമാണങ്ങളെ, മൂല്യങ്ങളെ ഹൃദയത്തോട് ചേർത്തു പിടിച്ച ഒരു വ്യക്തിത്വം, അശരണർക്കായി തൻ്റെ വരുമാനത്തിൻ്റെ വലിയൊരു പങ്ക് മാറ്റിവെച്ച മനുഷ്യസ്നേഹി, ശ്രീ MG ജോർജ് മുത്തൂറ്റ് അവരുടെ പാവന സ്മരണകൾക്ക് മുന്നിൽ പ്രമാണമർപ്പിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് ഇന്നത്തെ പരിപാടിയിലേക്ക്. Before we begin, let's invoke the blessings of Lord Almighty who made this beautiful day possible. This prayer is also a very special one. It's penned by none other than our late group chairman and catches the essence of the core values the Muthoot group stands for. Now let's all rise and pray. Shri Babu John Malayil, Deputy General Manager, Corporate Communications, Muthoot Group, will lead the prayer. Sir.
God, we thank you for all the blessings showered on us yesterday. God, we pray for your blessings to give a great today. God, we pray to lead us through much higher level of excellence in all our activities. God, we pray to guide us through all the problems and confusions and give us strength to face them successfully. God, we remember our founder, Muthoot Group, founder chairman, banking, and all other people who worked with us and who are no more with us. We also fondly remember our beloved group chairman, Shri MG George Muthoot, and executive director, Shri Paul M. George. God, we pray for the management, all the staff members, and all their family members. God, we pray for all our customers, associates, and well-wishers. God, we pray for all the people who trouble us. We pray in your name. Amen.
Thank you. You may please take your seats. This is a very special day for us, and we have our family members, friends, and well-wishers, along with some very distinguished personalities to grace the occasion. I would now request Shri George M. George, Deputy Managing Director of the Muthoot Group, to deliver the welcome address.
Dearly beloved friends, family, other distinguished dignitaries present here today. At the outset, I'd like to welcome you all to this very special gathering. It is my privilege to welcome all of you. But before I do that, we are gathered here on a very, very special occasion to pay tribute to my father. And there are many people who are going to talk about him today. There are going to be people who have had their life experiences with him, and they're going to share that today. So before that, and we've had people share that as well, but before that, I would like to share one of my earliest experiences with him. When I was growing up, and I think I was about 4 years old, when I used to stand outside his bathroom, when he used to get ready in the morning, he'd be shaving. I don't know how many of you can relate to this experience, but for me, it was like I'm looking at this superhuman being in front of me who's got this white lather all over his face and he's shaving, because as a child, I don't understand the concept of shaving. And I remember this, this waft and this smell of Old Spice, the scent that used to be there used to be very overpowering for me. To just stand there and watch him, totally enamored by what he was doing. And at that point, he would actually break out into a song. Not many people know, but he was a great bathroom singer. And then one of the songs that I remember, and he's a big Kishore Kumar fan as well, so one of the songs that I remember very well, and the words are, Zindagi ek safar hai suhana, yahan kal kya ho, kisne jana. So, with that in mind, my father was always a big hero for me, as I'm sure that the people that he's interacted with have also considered him the same. And I'll be very frank with you, I've also had disagreements with him. As a son, between a son and a father, as you know, there'll always be disagreements. But secretly, I always used to admire whatever he did in every walk of life, whether it be what he did for the entire family, what he did for his friends, what he did for the country, what he did for the company. Everything was just larger than life for me. So I always thought he was a superhero, but today I realize that he was not just a superhero, he's a supernova. And as most of you would know, a supernova is there for a limited time and it shines brightly and then completely collapses. I think his life, if I have to remember it, and I think most of you would remember it, is like a supernova. He came into our lives with this absolute, how do I say it, charismatic personality, this, whatever you want to call it, type A personality, type A plus personality. He would come, he would be in your face. He would be somebody that you would never forget. And today, I am so happy and glad to see all the people gathered here today. All of you have had a special bonding with him. And I'm glad to see all of you in this room today. So with that in mind, I will get into what I have been tasked to do today. First of all, I'd like to welcome, in absentia, our Honorable Union Minister of Minority Affairs and Deputy Leader of Rajya Sabha, Shri Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi. Unfortunately, he was not able to join us today because, as you're aware of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, all the ministers have been deputed towards Europe to evacuate more than 18,000 Indians who are stranded in Ukraine. And at this moment, I'd like to especially remember in our prayers all the people who are stranded there and hope they get back home safely. He will, of course, be joining us with his message, which you will see later. Again, in absentia, I'd like to also welcome the Honorable Governor of Kerala, Shri Arif Muhammad Khan. He's also not there today, but he will be joining us later by video link. I'd like to also welcome His Grace Dr. Jakob Mar Ironius Tirmeni, who is the Bishop of the Kochi Diocese. We are really honored by your presence here today, and we know your personal connection with my father. The next person I'd like to welcome needs really no introduction. We all know him, and he has been such a close family friend. I don't know how to describe him. Yes, he's a politician, he's a great speaker, he's everything. But for us, he's been a part of our family. I'd like to welcome the former Deputy Chairman of the Rajya Sabha, Shri P.J. Kurian sir, for being with us. And I know you have a very busy schedule, and thank you very much for being with us today. I would also like to welcome another very, very familiar face. He also does not need any introduction. I have been having long interactions with him over the last few years on a lot of CSR projects in Cochin and around. I'd like to welcome Shri Haibi Eden, our Honorable MP of Ernakulam, for being with us today and sparing his valuable time. I'd also like to welcome somebody who has been a very close associate of my father, who is now presently the chairman of FICCI, the State Kerala Council, Shri Deepak Aswaniji. Thank you very much for being with us today. And I know you share very, very fond memories of my father. Another very close associate to the family is somebody, again, who does not need introductions, is Shri Jose Thomas, who is the director of Fruitermans Company. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. I would also like to welcome the former chairman of the Cochin Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Shri Anand Menon. Thank you, sir, for being here with us and gracing this occasion. You know, the next person really does not need any introduction. He's a man of many talents. And of course, he's known to all of you as well. But his close bonding with our father, with my father, and when I say our father, I'm talking about my brother, my family, all present here. I'd like to welcome Shri Balachandra Menon, great film actor, director, script writer. Thank you, sir, for being with us today. I'd also like to welcome another very, very, very close member of our family. In fact, I grew up with his children in Delhi, and I'm so happy and so glad that he is with us today, spending his valuable time with us. I'd like to welcome Shri Jose Kurian, who's the consultant to the government of Kerala. Thank you very much for being here with us today. One of the reasons why we have gathered here today is obviously to pay the literary tribute. And the one person who has actually been responsible for initiating this idea and bringing it to fruition is none other than Reverend Father Biju P. Thomas, who is the editor of this book. I'd like to welcome him amongst us today. Thank you very much. Next, I'd like to also welcome our chairman and my uncle, Shri George Jacob Muthoot, for being here with us and gracing this occasion. I'd like to also welcome our managing director, Shri George Alexander Muthoot, for being with us today. Is he standing there? Okay. I'd also like to welcome Shri Alexander George Muthoot for being with us today as well. He's my youngest brother. All of you know him, of course. He needs no introduction. And I'd also like to welcome Shri Justice Benjamin Koshi, sir, for being with us here today. It is indeed an honor to have you with us, sir. Thank you. I'd also like to welcome our MLA for Ernakulam, Shri T.J. Vinod, sir. Wherever you are, I'm sure you're in the audience somewhere. Thank you for being with us today. Also like to welcome Shri George Kurian, the BJP state president, also for being with us here today. And most importantly, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you. It's a heartfelt welcome and a heartfelt thank you for being here today, because I can't believe that a year has passed since my father is no longer with us. As most of you are aware, we've had two tragedies in the family. We lost my brother in 2009, and we've lost him, my father, last year. It's a bit too much to take at this point, but I'm just so happy that as a family we've come together. I'm so happy that all of you are here supporting us. Once again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Shri George Jacob Muthoot, chairman of the Muthoot Group, presides over today's function. I would request him to deliver the presidential address. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, Jojo, our chairman's elder son, for his very emotional feelings. Honorable Governor of Kerala, Shri Arif Muhammad Khan, joining online. Honorable Union Minister, Minister of Minority Affairs and Deputy Leader in Rajya Sabha, Shri Mukhtar Akbar Naqvi, Bishop of Cochin Diocese, His Grace, Dr. Yaqub Mar Irenaeus, Sri P.J. Kurian, former Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha, Honorable MP of Ernakulam, Sri Haibi Eden, Sri Deepak L. Ashwani, Chairman of FICCI, State Kerala Council, Sri Anand Menon, former Chairman of Cochin Chamber of Commerce and Industry, film actor, director, and script writer, Sri Balachandra Menon, a very close friend of our chairman and our family, Sri V.K. Matthews, Chairman of IBS, Sri Jose Kurian, Consultant of Government of Kerala, Reverend Father Biju P. Thomas, the editor and the compiler of this beautiful book, Sri George Alexander Muthoot, Managing Director, Muthoot Group, Sri George Thomas Muthoot, Joint Managing Director of Muthoot Group, Sri Alexander M. George, Joint Managing Director, and the man behind this event with the support of his elder brother, Jojo, Sri George M. George, Deputy Managing Director of Muthoot Group, Sarah George, wife of M.G. George Muthoot, other distinguished members, my dearest colleagues, other delegates, and my dear friends who have gathered here. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, a big thank you to all of you for being present here today to celebrate and honor the life of my elder brother, Sri M.G. George Muthoot, the chairman of the Muthoot Group of Companies. The literary tribute has been an emotional outing for me as it forgoes a venue to recall the life of my brother from different angles and perspectives shared by all of you. Sri M.G. George Muthoot was a visionary leader who has grown and propelled the Muthoot Group to the heights of success. He adopted to run a value-driven culture for our business operations, which are built on by 6 core values: ethics, reliability, dependability, trustworthiness, integrity, and goodwill. His philanthropic pursuits continue to comfort the lives of countless people in education, healthcare, and finance across various sections of the society. He was an inspiration for 4 decades. When he took over, we were present only in 4 states with just 31 branches. Today, we have a strong foothold in 29 states and union territories of India with more than 2 lakhs retail investors base and our diversified group today. All because of the vision and the strong sense of mission of Sri M.G. George Muthoot. He was the pillar upon which we have built our multifaceted business which you all witness today. If today Muthoot Finance has grown as the #1 gold loan NBFC in India, then the credit goes to the visionary leadership of Shri M.G. George Muthoot and uncompromising foundational principles that made the Muthoot brand a household name across India. He possessed humility in character, dignity in thoughts, and charisma in action. He envisioned that the secret of living is giving back by contributing to the well-being of underprivileged communities and the world at large. He found new meaning and purposes in his life. He understood that wealth and the prosperity comes with a measure of responsibility to give back. He set a perfect example of generosity and leadership during the testing times like flood and COVID-19. Muthoot Finance has conducted a lot of rescue operations, ambulance services, delivery of food and essential supplies, and coordinated with NGOs and government to carry out a lot of activities during the tough times. He was an individual, firm in his convictions, on the top of things as a businessman. But there was another side of him that was masked by his self-assuredness. He appeared to be hard on surface, but had a soft heart. He sometimes had a hard time expressing his love. As he follow his footsteps and carry forward our legacy, I assure our investors and partners, and above all, the customers, that the Muthoot Group shall continue to follow his time-tested principles and proven values to deliver utmost professionalism and trust in the business operations. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. I hope you will enjoy the book and recall the fond memories of our chairman. Thank you, and let God bless us all.
Thank you very much, sir. From a humble business initiative in a discreet small village in Kerala to India's #1 most trusted financial services brand, the growth trajectory of the Muthoot Group is indeed extraordinary. But what is even more notable in the life journey of the intellect who made it possible, with sheer determination, hard work, and resolute faith in God. Ladies and gentlemen, we now bring you a documentary on the life journey of late Shri M.G. George Muthoot. This will allow you a peek into the eventful journey of an exceptional personality. Kindly watch the screen.
Shri M.G. George Muthoot, born in 1949 in a small village in Kerala, grew up in the fledgling years of free India, an India that was gearing up to enjoy its newfound freedom while simultaneously grappling with enormous challenges. After graduating in mechanical engineering from Manipal University, he began his professional journey as an office assistant at Muthoot Bankers, which was his family-owned bank. His vision, dedication, and sheer hard work soon catapulted him to the top job, and he was chosen as the managing director in 1979, and then the group's chairman in February 1993. At the time of taking charge as chairman, the company had only 31 branches in 4 states. Realizing the immense potential of the business, he, along with his brothers, led an aggressive pan-India expansion plan. Soon, his vision for widespread business expansion bore fruit, and the group spread its footprints across the country, covering metro, urban, semi-urban and rural India, with a present-day branch network of 5,443 plus branches. Under his able leadership came the landmark transformation of Muthoot Finance, which became a public limited company on 18th November 2008. His innate entrepreneurial spirit widened the group's scope of operations into a conglomerate comprising 20 diversified business divisions with a global presence across USA, UK, UAE, Costa Rica, Sri Lanka and Nepal. Today, the group serves more than 2 lakh customers every day and has till date served over 70 crore customers, including repeat customers, bringing joys to lives of millions of Indians by helping them unlock the true potential of their emotional asset. Under the leadership of Shri M.G. George Muthoot, the Muthoot Group has reached incredible heights. As chairman of the group, he encouraged the engagement of Shri Amitabh Bachchan ji as the brand ambassador and also partnering with one of the most successful IPL teams, Chennai Super Kings, as their principal team partner. Muthoot Finance won many prestigious national awards for path-breaking marketing campaigns and flagged off a new era in the brand's journey towards marketing transformation. In sync with the times and technology evolution, under his vision, the board of directors of the company continuously encouraged adoption of new age technology transformation programs, transforming the lives of customers and employees equally. His astute business acumen and guidance led the group to cross many milestones. Today, Muthoot Finance has the largest gold loan portfolio among NBFCs in India, and during the financial year 2020-21, the loan portfolio crossed Rs 58,280 crores. The group has recorded a profit before tax of Rs 5,131 crores. Total revenue crossed Rs 11,566 crores and net worth crossed Rs 15,575 crores. Muthoot Finance shares were listed on the stock exchange in the year 2011. Recently, in August 2021, Muthoot Finance share price reached a 52-week high of Rs 1,638.85. In alignment with his vision of financial inclusion and values, during the financial year 2020-21, loans of Rs 1,24,000 crores got dispersed to help crores of Indians realize their dreams and move ahead in life.
बहुत कोऑपरेटिव है।
यहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा जब भी आए सिर्फ 5-7 मिनट का टाइम लगता है, ज़्यादा नहीं लगता।
मुथूट फाइनेंस के साथ हमारा वाकई में बहुत सालों से चल रहा है और कोई भी दिक्कत नहीं आई।
हमें जब जरूरत पड़ती है हम उस टाइम पैसा ले जाते हैं।
Doing good and doing well is again very much connected. If you have to do well, you have to do good.
Late Shri M.G. George Muthoot and all his brothers passionately believed in giving back to the society and tirelessly worked for the upliftment of the underprivileged and downtrodden. He was a rare blend of a sharp businessman and a keen humanitarian. His actions saw him receiving numerous prestigious awards and recognitions. The Muthoot Group, anchored in his great legacy, is committed to carrying forward the mission of late Shri M.G. George Muthoot and lead with responsibility. It remains steadfastly committed to his business vision of growth with values. The Muthoot Group, unchanging values in changing times.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, today the book that is to be released is titled M.G. George Muthoot, Remembering a Prodigy of Leadership, Entrepreneurship, Humanity. and a real prodigy he was, bringing sweeping changes and quality reforms in the great unorganized money market of India. But who can talk best about the book and its subject? Well, the editor himself. Ladies and gentlemen, we have amidst us Reverend Father Biju P. Thomas, who's the editor of the to-be-released book. Father Biju Thomas, a priest of the Malankara Orthodox Church and director of Kochi Orthodox International Center, and author of many books. He had been in Delhi for more than 25 years and shared a very close rapport with our late chairman and his beloved wife. Welcome, sir.
A very hearty good afternoon to one and all gathered here. His Excellency Shri Arif Muhammad Khan, Honorable Governor of Kerala, His Excellency Shri Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, Minister of Minority Affairs and Deputy Leader of Rajya Sabha, His Grace Dr. Yaqub Mar Irenius, the Chief Guest and the Metropolitan of Diocese of Kochi, my well-wisher and good friend, Professor P.J. Korean, sir, and all the honorable dignitaries on the dais and audience. It's really a moment of blessing and pride to be a part of this august gathering. Really, I am overwhelmed to be present here in your midst, where the fond memories of Sri M.G. George, we fondly call him Joy Chan, are flooding. It has been a great and challenging work for me to bring out this beautiful book as a mark of love, respect, and gratitude to our beloved Joy Chan. This book is a collection of writings about the precious memories the family and many eminent personalities have with Joy Chan. The book has around 30 pages, and it includes a collection of memorable photographs that make it lively and colorful. Before I say something about the book, I would like to express my thanks to the great encouragement, support, and guidance given to me by the family in every step of the work. The keenness and interest of George, and Raju, Alexander, in this endeavor was the greatest encouragement for me to work to bring out this beautiful book. എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ഇങ്ങനെയൊരു പുസ്തകം പ്രസിദ്ധീകരിക്കണം എന്നുള്ള ചോദ്യം ഏത് ദൗത്യം നിർവഹിക്കുമ്പോഴും എന്നെ ഭരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ചോദ്യമാണ്. ഓരോ പുസ്തകം പ്രസിദ്ധീകരിക്കുമ്പോഴും അതിൻ്റെ പ്രവർത്തനത്തിൽ ഏർപ്പെടുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് അത് എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ചെയ്യണം എന്നുള്ള ചോദ്യത്തിന് ഉത്തരം കിട്ടാതെ നമുക്ക് മുമ്പോട്ട് പോകുവാൻ സാധിക്കുകയില്ല. ഈ പുസ്തകം ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും എന്നെ ശക്തമായി ഭരിച്ച ഒരു ചോദ്യം, എന്തുകൊണ്ട്, വൈ ഷുഡ് എന്നുള്ള ചോദ്യം എന്നെ വളരെ ശക്തമായി ഭരിച്ചു. മനുഷ്യൻ്റെ ജീവിതം അത് അർത്ഥവത്താകുന്നത് അവർ എറ്റേണലായി ജീവിക്കുമ്പോഴാണ്, എറ്റേണിറ്റി അറ്റൈൻ ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴാണ്. എങ്ങനെയാണ് ഈ എറ്റേണിറ്റി അറ്റൈൻ ചെയ്യുക? എനിക്കതിന് ഉത്തരം കിട്ടിയത് യേശു ക്രിസ്തുവിൽ നിന്നുമാണ്. ലോകത്തിൽ വളരെ സജീവമായി കേൾക്കുകയും പരിഗണിക്കപ്പെടുകയും ചെയ്യുന്നൊരു പേരാണ് യേശു ക്രിസ്തുവിൻ്റെ പേര്. ക്രിസ്തു അവസാനത്തെ രാത്രിയിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ആശയങ്ങളുമായി ലോകത്തിൻ്റെ വിവിധ ഭാഗങ്ങളിലേക്ക് പോകേണ്ട ശിഷ്യന്മാരോട് പറയുകയാണ്, നിങ്ങൾ ഇത് എൻ്റെ ഓർമ്മയ്ക്കായി ചെയ്യുക. അപ്പം മനുഷ്യൻ്റെ നിത്യതയുടെ ഒരു അടിസ്ഥാന ഘടകം അത് മനുഷ്യൻ മരണത്തിന് ശേഷം ജീവിക്കുന്നത് ഫിസിക്കലായിട്ടല്ല, നമുക്കറിയാം, ഓർമ്മകളിലാണ്. അപ്പം ആ ഓർമ്മകൾ നമുക്ക് പിടിച്ചു നിർത്തുവാൻ സഹായിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ക്രിയേറ്റീവ് വർക്ക് ഉണ്ടാകണം എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഈ വർക്കിൻ്റെ പിമ്പിലുള്ളതായ എന്നെ പ്രചോദിപ്പിച്ച അനുഭവം. നിശ്ചയമായിട്ടും 26 വർഷത്തെ സുദീർഘമായ ബന്ധം എനിക്ക് ജോയിച്ചാനുമായിട്ട് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. നിങ്ങൾക്കെല്ലാം ഞാൻ പറയുന്ന ആശയവുമായിട്ട് അടുപ്പം കാണും. ജോയിച്ചാൻ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ സ്നേഹിച്ചത് എന്നെയാണെന്നാണ് ഞാൻ ധരിക്കുക. പക്ഷെ ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന എല്ലാവർക്കും തോന്നും പുള്ളി വളരെയധികം നിങ്ങളെയും സ്നേഹിച്ചു. അത് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു പേഴ്സണാലിറ്റിയുടെ പ്രത്യേകതയായിരുന്നു. ഇടപെടുന്നത്, ഞാൻ ഡൽഹിയിൽ സ്കൂളുകളിലും ഒക്കെ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അവിടുത്തെ ഒരു ചൗക്കിദാർ എന്ന് പറയുന്ന സെക്യൂരിറ്റി മുതൽ അവിടുത്തെ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽ വരെ, അച്ഛന്മാർ വരെയുള്ള ആളുകളുമായി അദ്ദേഹം ഇടപെടുന്ന ഒരു ഇടപെടലിൻ്റെ രീതിയുണ്ട്. അപ്പം അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ഞാൻ രാവിലെ ബാലേന്ദ്രമേനോൻ സാറുമായിട്ട് സംസാരിക്കുകയായിരുന്നു. എനിക്ക് ലേഖനം ആദ്യം അയച്ചു തന്നതിൽ ഒരാൾ ബാലേന്ദ്രമേനോൻ സാറാണ്. അപ്പം അദ്ദേഹം അത് എഴുതുമ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹം പറയുകയാണ്, ജോയിച്ചാൻ എൻ്റെ അരികിൽ വന്ന് നിൽക്കുന്ന ഫീൽ എനിക്ക് കിട്ടുന്നു. എഴുതി അവസാനിപ്പിക്കുമ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹം പറയുകയാണ്, ബാല, നീ എന്തൊക്കെയാണ് എന്നെപ്പറ്റി എഴുതി പിടിപ്പിക്കുന്നത്, മതി. ഉടനെ അദ്ദേഹം അത് സ്റ്റോപ്പ് ചെയ്യുകയാണ്. ഇത് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു പേഴ്സണാലിറ്റിയുടെ പ്രത്യേകതയാണ്. ഇടപെടുന്ന ആരുടെയും മനസ്സിൽ വളരെ തുച്ഛമായ സമയം കൊണ്ട് ആഴത്തിൽ അടയാളം പതിപ്പിക്കുവാൻ കഴിയുന്ന ആളുകൾ. എനിക്കൊന്നും ആ കപ്പാസിറ്റി ഇല്ലാത്ത, കഴിവില്ലാത്ത ഒരു മനുഷ്യനാണ്. എന്നാൽ അദ്ദേഹം അതല്ല. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നില്ല കുടുംബത്തിൽപ്പെട്ട മറ്റുള്ളവർക്കും അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ലഭിച്ച ആ ടാലൻറ്റ് ലഭിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു. അത്രമാത്രം അദ്ദേഹം എന്തുകൊണ്ട് ബിസിനസ്സിൽ വിജയിച്ചു, ഞാൻ പലരെയും വ്യക്തിപരമായിട്ട് ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുന്ന ഒരാളാണ്. എന്തുകൊണ്ട് അദ്ദേഹം സക്സസ് ആയി? എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ഐറനസ് തിരുമേനിയാണെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു. തിരുമേനിയുടെ ലേഖനത്തിൽ തിരുമേനി എഴുതി വച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്, ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക്, കഠിന അധ്വാനം. 31 നിന്നും 5400 അടുത്ത് ബ്രാഞ്ചസിലേക്ക് ബിസിനസ് കാര്യം പറയുമ്പോൾ കൊണ്ടുവരുവാൻ സാധിച്ചു എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഹാർഡ് വർക്കാണ്. ഞാൻ 95 ഡൽഹിയിൽ അളകനന്ദയിലെ വീട്ടിൽ വരുന്നത്, ഗ്രേറ്റർ കൈലാഷിലെ വീട്ടിൽ. അന്ന് ഞങ്ങൾ രാത്രി ഏകദേശം 1 മണി വരെ സംസാരിച്ചിരുന്നു. അതിനുശേഷം അച്ഛൻ പൊയ്ക്കോ, എനിക്കിനി കുറേ വർക്കുകൾ ചെയ്യാനായിട്ടുണ്ട് 1 മണിക്ക് ശേഷം. അപ്പം അദ്ദേഹം രാത്രികളിൽ പോലും ഓരോ ബ്രാഞ്ചിൻ്റെയും ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് എടുത്ത് വർക്ക് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു രീതി അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അപ്പം അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ പേഴ്സണാലിറ്റിയിൽ നിറഞ്ഞു നിൽക്കുന്ന 3 കാര്യങ്ങളാണ് ഈ പുസ്തകത്തിന് ടൈറ്റിലായിട്ട് കൊടുത്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. റിമെമ്പറിങ് എ പ്രോഡിജി ഓഫ് ലീഡർഷിപ്പ്, ഓൺട്രപ്രണർഷിപ്പ് ആൻഡ് ഹ്യൂമാനിറ്റി. ഒരു നേതൃത്വ ഗുണം അദ്ദേഹത്തിനുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. സഭയിലാണെങ്കിലും ബിസിനസ്സിലാണെങ്കിലും എല്ലാവരെയും കൂടെ നിർത്തി, ഒരുമിപ്പിച്ച് നിർത്തി കൊണ്ടുപോകാനുള്ള കപ്പാസിറ്റി. 2, ഒരു നല്ല സംരംഭകൻ. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു നമ്മുടെ ബിസിനസ് യൂണിവേഴ്സിറ്റികൾ, കോളേജുകൾ ഇദ്ദേഹത്തെ പഠന വിഷയമാക്കേണ്ടതായിട്ടുണ്ട്. അത്രമാത്രം ബിസിനസ് രംഗത്ത് വിത്തിൻ എ ഷോർട്ട് സ്പാൻ ഓഫ് പീരിയഡ് ഒരു വ്യവസായത്തെ മുൻനിരയിൽ എത്തിക്കുവാൻ കഴിയുന്ന കഴിവ്. 3-മതായി ബാലൻസ് ചെയ്യാൻ തക്കവണ്ണം മാനവികത ജീവിതത്തിൻ്റെ ഭാഗമായി കരുതിയ വ്യക്തി. ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള കോമ്പിനേഷൻ വളരെ റെയറാണ്. ഒന്നുകിൽ വലിയ ബിസിനസ്സുകാരനായിരിക്കും, ഒന്നുകിൽ വലിയ നേതാവായിരിക്കും. പക്ഷെങ്കിൽ ഇത് മൂന്ന് കുതിരകളെ കെട്ടിയ രഥം വലിച്ചുകൊണ്ട് പോകുന്നത് പോലെ ഒരുപോലെ കൊണ്ടുപോകുവാൻ സാധിക്കുകയാണ്. ഇതിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ വ്യക്തിത്വത്തെ വളരെ അധികം പ്രോജ്വലിപ്പിക്കുന്ന റൈറ്റപ്സ് ഉണ്ട്, ഓർമ്മക്കുറിപ്പുകളുണ്ട്, നല്ല കുറേ ഫോട്ടോഗ്രാഫ്സ്. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ലേഖനങ്ങളെക്കാൾ നമ്മുടെ ഹൃദയവുമായി സംസാരിക്കുവാൻ കഴിയുന്ന കുറേ ഏറെ ഫോട്ടോഗ്രാഫ്സ് ഇതിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ ചേർത്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഒരു ഇൻ്റർനാഷണൽ സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ഈ ബുക്കിൽ സൂക്ഷിക്കുവാൻ വളരെ അധികം പരിശ്രമിച്ചു. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ബുക്ക് കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ അത് മനസ്സിലാവും. അതിൻ്റെ ലേഔട്ട്, അതിൻ്റെ ഓരോ പേജിലെയും സെറ്റിങ്സ്, ഹെഡിങ്സ്, ഇതെല്ലാം ഒരു വ്യത്യസ്തത പുലർത്തുവാൻ ശ്രമിച്ചിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ബുക്കാണ്. ഇന്ത്യയുടെ വൈസ് പ്രസിഡൻറ്റ് എം വെങ്കയ്യ നായിഡു മുതൽ മുത്തൂറ്റ് ഗ്രൂപ്പിൽ ജോലി ചെയ്യുന്ന ജോലിക്കാർ വരെയുള്ള ഏകദേശം 90-ൽ പരം എഴുത്തുകാർ ഇതിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിൽ ലേഖനങ്ങൾ, ഓർമ്മക്കുറിപ്പുകൾ എഴുതിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു ലേഖനവും പരസ്പരം സാമ്യമുള്ളതായിട്ട് തോന്നരുത് എന്നുള്ളത് കൊണ്ട് നമ്മൾ കഴിവതും ഏകദേശം ടോപ്പിക്ക് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്താണ് നമ്മൾ പുസ്തകം ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളത്. റിലീജിയസ് ലീഡേഴ്സ് എഴുതിയിട്ടുണ്ട്, പൊളിറ്റീഷ്യൻസ് ഉണ്ട്, ബിസിനസ്സുകാരുണ്ട്. പുസ്തകത്തിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളടക്കം നിങ്ങൾക്ക് കൈ കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ വായിച്ച് മനസ്സിലാക്കാം. എനിക്ക് ഇത്രമേ ഈ പുസ്തകത്തെപ്പറ്റി പറയുവാനായിട്ടുള്ളൂ. എനിക്ക് നൽകിയതായ സമയം ഏകദേശം അവസാനിക്കുന്നു. ലഭിച്ച സമയത്തിനുള്ളിൽ എൻ്റെ ഇമോഷൻ അദ്ദേഹവുമായിട്ടുള്ളത് അതിൻ്റെ അത് വയ്ക്കുവാൻ ശ്രമിച്ചു. അത്രമാത്രം അടുപ്പം ഞങ്ങൾ തമ്മിൽ പുലർത്തുന്നു. അതുകൊണ്ടാണ് ഈ ഒരു വലിയ ടാസ്ക് ഒരു 2 മാസം പരമാവധി എടുത്തുള്ളൂ ഇത് ഇറക്കുവാൻ. അതിനെ ഏറ്റവും കൂടുതൽ പ്രേരിപ്പിച്ചത് 1 അലക്സ്, 2 ജോജോ, സാറാഫി ആൻറ്റി, ലീല ആൻറ്റി, സിസ്റ്ററാനും, ഒപ്പം ഓഫീസിൽ നിന്നും ജിജോ സെബാസ്റ്റ്യൻ, എനിക്ക് മറക്കുവാൻ സാധിക്കുകയില്ല. ഒരു ഗുഡ് കോർഡിനേറ്റർ, എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും എല്ലാവരെയും പരസ്പരം അറിയിക്കുന്നത്. ഇത് ലേഔട്ട് നടത്തി ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്ത് ക്രയോൺസ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന തിരുവല്ലയിലുള്ളൊരു കമ്പനിയാണ്. നന്നായിട്ട് 4 ദിവസം കൊണ്ട് ഈ പുസ്തകം പ്രിൻ്റ് ചെയ്ത്, ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്ത്, ലാമിനേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത്, ഫോയിൽ പൊതിഞ്ഞ് നമുക്ക് നൽകിയത് എസാൻഡസ് പ്രിൻറ്റേഴ്സാണ്. അവരോടും എനിക്കുള്ള നന്ദി അറിയിക്കുന്നു. എല്ലാറ്റിലും ഉപരിയായിട്ട് സർവേശ്വരനെ ഞാൻ ദൈവസന്നിധിയിൽ ഈ കാര്യങ്ങളെല്ലാം സമർപ്പിക്കുന്നു. ജോയിച്ചാൻ്റെ മെമ്മറി ഈ പുസ്തകത്തിലൂടെ നിത്യതയിൽ നിൽക്കട്ടെ എന്ന് ആശംസിക്കുന്നു. ദൈവം നമ്മളെ സഹായിക്കട്ടെ.
Memories are precious, memories are everlasting. Thank you, sir, for sharing interesting insights. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker of the day is the Honorable Governor of Kerala, Shri Arif Muhammad Khan, an outstanding statesman with forthright views. Shri Muhammad Khan possesses an illustrious academic and political career. His clarity of thoughts and astounding bound of knowledge never fail to amaze us. Now we have the virtual keynote address by the Honorable Governor.
I am happy to know that the Muthoot group of companies has published the book entitled M.G. George Muthoot, Remembering a Prodigy of Leadership, Entrepreneurship, Humanity, to reminisce the life and contribution of its former group chairman, the late Shri M.G. George Muthoot. Throughout his life, Shri M.G. George Muthoot was guided by the principle that one should not lose any opportunity to help the poor and the underprivileged. All of us are well aware about how, as an entrepreneur, he has contributed to nation building through various business and community activities. I am informed that Shri M.G. George Muthoot was keen on implementing welfare programs in domains such as education, environment and sanitation. His involvement in humanitarian services during the months of the COVID-19 pandemic was widely appreciated. The Sneha Ashraya project in the area of health had benefited over 74,000 people through medical camps and 10,000 free dialysis for the needy patients. It is commendable that the book suitably highlights the warm and endearing personality of the late Shri M.G. George Muthoot, whose life journey has changed the lives of hundreds of people. I compliment the people who took pains to chronicle his life and work. My best wishes for the success of the book. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, our chief guest of the day, His Grace Dr. Yakub Mar Ironius, is the Bishop of Cochin Diocese. His Grace has a master's degree in English literature, philosophy.
His country, as we heard now from the presentation too, that it is still continuing to grow overseas, not just limited to Kodacheri or to Kerala for that matter, but it's growing like that. Let it be. And that smile is so meaningful and challenging. I don't know what he is hiding behind that smile. The man behind the smile is still an enigma for me. He'll keep on smiling. He'll sit with me and talk about this and that in the church. He will patiently listen. Even when the corona started, he used to send emails and phone calls to me. He used to take this medicine. This is the Ayurveda medicine. It's very good for you. I'm just propagating this idea. He said, okay. Again, he will call me the next day. Use such and such Ayurvedic medicines. Pestering me like that because he had a mission. A man, very impatient man with a positive mission, not just for the company, not just for the church, but for all. So he lived for others. I can understand why Jojo was so emotional when he was standing here. He should. I have very good memories about him. This assembly, this meeting, is at the same time, it's a memorial meeting and a book release meeting. In fact, I feel every meeting is a memorial. We recollect somebody or something from the past or from the contemporary society. If we recall somebody, it becomes a memory. Without memory, we just cannot exist. A people without history will not be redeemed in time. Thus goes T.S. Eliot. A people without history will not be redeemed in time. So we are moving in history. Some people raise their hand and say, I challenge you. Do we dare to accept that challenge? The youngest person in Muthoot family is just sitting before me and staring at me. What nonsense he's talking about. But that challenge is for you and everybody. Let us remember that what he hid behind that continuous smile is a determination to move ahead, to surge ahead, and he will inspire each and every one in the concern, Muthoot concern, whether it be education, healthcare, or whatever it be. Just to move forward. Don't sit quiet. He will come and goad you like that. Move ahead. And this man is a bundle of energy. He will not sit quiet. Even he's not very old. I was just murmuring with the chairman that both of us were born in 1949. So we have the same age. But he continues to inspire me. Not in terms of money. But he believed, I think, money is not something to be piled up and stored, but to be used. And he realized used for others. I repeat that. Money is not something to be piled up and stored jealously, but to be used. Used for the sake, it's an incomplete sentence, to be used for whom? He was trying to answer that question. This money is to be used for whom? And I hope he found an answer for that. So we have all the good projects of Muthoot for the people. That is why I feel he lived, thought, dreamt, not just for the Muthoot family, but for humanity. And in fact, you know, he had his share of joys and sorrows, very big sorrows, not small. I visited him in his home when his son died. He was sitting there talking to me, but the smile had slightly vanished, but he's the same. The joy, the radiating joy from his face, whether it is too much or not, I have no idea, but the joy that he radiates is so inspiring, you just cannot ignore him. That is Joy Chand. Achan has very personal memories about him. You have a family memories. I have a different kind of memories for me. Such a great man. Let us keep that in mind because it's a memorial. Every memorial will inspire us and goad us to move forward. I pray for the Muthoot family and all the Muthoot financial and other institutions. May God bless you. And I remember this great man and my good wishes to the book. You have remembering the prodigy of leadership, entrepreneurship, humanity. And Achan has been behind that. I really appreciate that. Here is somebody from the church who can spare something for a great personality like Shri M.G. George Muthoot. May his memory continue to inspire us. May the smile, let the smile be there. Not behind me, ahead of me, everywhere I see that smile. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Entrepreneurship, humanity. On this most momentous occasion, I request Dr. Sarah George Muthoot to be here. Dr. Sarah George is an educationist and is a director of 2 schools in Delhi, the St. George School and Paul George Global School. I will also welcome and request the distinguished presence of our dignitaries, Shri Anand Menon, Shri Jose Thomas, Shri P.J. Kurian, Shri Balachandra Menon, Shri George Jacob Muthoot, the chairman of the Muthoot Group, Honorable MP Shri Haibe Eden, Shri George M. George, Shri Deepak Elaswani, Reverend Father Biju P. Thomas, and Shri Jose Kurian for the book release. Ladies and gentlemen, we are moving on to the most important function of the day, the launch of the book by His Grace, Dr. Yakub Mar Ironius, Bishop of Cochin Diocese, by handing over the first copy to Dr. Sarah George Muthoot and the distinguished presence of our guests. We also have Shri Alexander George Muthoot, Shri George Thomas Muthoot, Shri George Alexander Muthoot, Shri George Jacob Muthoot, Shri George M. George, here with us. As you can see, a beautiful book edited by Reverend Father Biju Thomas. a literary tribute to Shri N.G. George Muthoot, remembering a prodigy of leadership, entrepreneurship, humanity. Thank you, madam. Thank you, sirs. You may kindly take your seats. Minister of Minority Affairs and Deputy Leader Rajya Sabha, Shri Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi is our guest of honor, one of the most popular and much respected leader of the masses. In his previous dispensation as Minority Affairs Minister, Shri Naqvi had brought in sweeping reforms in the Hajj policy. He also effectively implemented various schemes aimed at socio-economic educational empowerment of poor and weaker sections. May I have the privilege of inviting the Honorable Minister to deliver his address virtually.
Friends, first of all, I would like to offer my sincere apology for not attending this very important event physically due to ongoing Operation Ganga to recuse Indian citizens and students from Ukraine. I am happy to release this very special book on late M.G. George Muthoot Sahab, a legendary personality. Being in public life from last several years, I have a good relationship with the several personalities from the socio-economic, educational, cultural and political field. The committed personality of late Janab M.G. George Muthoot Sahab continue to inspire us. His contribution in education field, relief activity, healthcare services, and other social welfare work have brought a remarkable changes in the life of the lakh of the peoples and needies. Under his dynamic and passionate leadership, the Muthoot Group achieved new height. His financial inclusion policy brought a ray of hope on those lack of the peoples, needy peoples in rural and remote area of the country who were not a part of the banking and financial system from several decades. He was always guided by the perfect principle of ethic, values, goodwill and integrity. He always aimed at the service of nation and contributing to the development of the country. I recall him as a man of golden heart. He was widely admired. He always believed that one should not lose any opportunity to help the poor and needy people. I congratulate the Muthoot Group, his whole team, on the release of the book M.G. George Muthoot, Remembering the Prodigy of Leadership, Entrepreneurship and Humanity. I am confident that the book will inspire lakh of his admirer peoples, including us. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. We are truly elated for your kind words and good wishes. Muthoot Group has many firsts to their credit in the area of corporate social responsibility. The group firmly believes in bringing substantial improvement in the lives of people and providing opportunities for growth and development. Today, while we remember the fond memories of our late group chairman, Shri George Alexander Muthoot, the Managing Director, will be making some important announcements with respect to our special CSR campaign. So I welcome you to the stage.
Respected dignitaries, invited guests, we are indeed happy to have a book release on M.G. George Muthoot, the founder chairman of Muthoot Group. I am, just like you, all very happy that we are able to bring out a book on Mr. M.G. George Muthoot. It is a fitting tribute to his untiring work and also his dedication to the humanity and the people around us. There are quite a few CSR initiatives done by the Muthoot Group over the last several years, several decades, and Joy Chai was very fond of all these things, and he was very particular that the CSR activities of the Muthoot Group should reach one and all, everywhere, not only in Kerala, but all over India. And we have been able to do almost justice to it. We have had several programs, and today we have one program which was the Ashiana house construction, which is entitled Ashiana because it started by a thought of giving and constructing houses for the people who lost their houses during the floods in 2018. We had been able to construct more than 200 houses and hand it over to people who really were in need of this. And I have also participated in many of the key handing over ceremonies along with the others. The satisfaction, the happiness which the recipients of the house showed was boundless. It really touched our heart. And along with many others, our beloved Member of Parliament, Shri Eden, was also instrumental in identifying projects, identifying beneficiaries, and also seeing that the houses got constructed. The last of such houses, such batch of houses, was near around here in Waipin area. We have been planning to hand over 10 houses to people who lost their houses during the floods, not only the 2018 floods, but all the floods which were happening because these people were staying near the sea. And today we have the function or the activity of starting the new construction of 11 houses here locally. And our beloved MP, Shri Eden, was really, what should I say? It was really after us, after the company persuading us to see that these people also got houses. In fact, these houses were constructed 20 years back by some charitable institution, but unfortunately, all these 10 or 11 houses just settled down, and the people were not able to stay there. In fact, they were staying in 2-3 feet of water always, not only during floods, but always water was seeping in. So a new project was designed with the help of our engineering college, civil department also, to raise the building, to raise the foundation and give a proper house. So we had to demolish the existing houses and start construction. The construction has just started. Now I think I will be inviting.
So I would request you to stay back. Shri Eden, the Honorable MP of Ernakulam, hardly needs an introduction. In spite of his impressive growth from a popular leader to a member of Legislative Assembly Kerala and now a member of Parliament, Shri Eden has always remained rooted and is a very loud leader of the masses. The Honorable MP's social welfare initiatives are also quite well known and much appreciated. I would now request the Honorable MP to kindly come over to the dais and accept a token of commitment of Muthoot Ashiana House Construction Project at Idavanakad from Shri George Thomas Muthoot, the Joint Managing Director, in the distinguished presence of Shri George Alexander Muthoot, the Managing Director. As a token of our commitment, the Muthoot Group hands over our special CSR project at Irvanakar. As our Managing Director explained. Thank you, sirs. And now a few words from our Honorable MP.
ബഹുമാന്യരെ സുഹൃത്തുക്കളെ, I'm extremely honored and privileged to be a part of the very auspicious gathering happening here today for legendary leader, entrepreneur, philanthropist. മലയാളികൾക്ക് മുത്തൂറ്റ് എന്ന ബ്രാൻഡിനെ പരിചയപ്പെടുത്തിയ ഒരു വിദ്യാർത്ഥി സംഘടനാ നേതാവായിരുന്ന കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ ഇന്ത്യയിലെ ഏത് സംസ്ഥാനത്ത് യാത്ര ചെയ്യാനും അവസരം ലഭിക്കുമ്പോൾ ഒരു മലയാളി എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ അഭിമാനവും സന്തോഷവും തോന്നുന്നത് മുത്തൂറ്റിൻ്റെ വലിയ ബോർഡുകൾ കാണുമ്പോഴാണ്. അത് നോർത്ത് ഈസ്റ്റിലാണെങ്കിലും നോർത്ത് ഇന്ത്യയിലാണെങ്കിലും. കുറച്ച് നാളുകൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് ചെന്നൈയിൽ പോയപ്പോൾ അവിടുത്തെ മെട്രോ സ്റ്റേഷൻ അടക്കം ബ്രാൻഡ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നതും പല CSR ഇനീഷ്യേറ്റീവ്സിലും, ഒരുപക്ഷെ CSR എന്ന ആശയം കേന്ദ്ര സർക്കാർ യാഥാർത്ഥ്യമാക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ്, അത് മാൻഡേറ്ററി പ്രോസസ്സ് ആവുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് തന്നെ ജീവിതങ്ങൾ മാറ്റിമറിക്കാൻ മുത്തൂറ്റിൻ്റെ ഇനീഷ്യേറ്റീവ്സിന് കഴിഞ്ഞു എന്നുള്ളതാണ് ഏറെ സന്തോഷകരമായൊരു കാര്യം. എനിക്ക് ജോർജ് സാറിനെ, ഇവിടെ ഇരിക്കുന്ന കുര്യൻ സാറിനെ പോലെയുള്ള പരിണിതപ്രജ്ഞരായ ഒരുപാട് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ സമകാലികരായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരുപാട് അനുഭവ പരിചയമുള്ള തിരുമേനിയെ പോലുള്ള ആളുകളെല്ലാവരും ഇവിടെ ഉണ്ട്. പക്ഷെ അങ്ങനെയുള്ളൊരു ആശയവിനിമയം നടത്താൻ സാധിച്ചിട്ടില്ലെങ്കിലും ചുരുങ്ങിയ സമയം എനിക്ക് പരിചിതമായിരുന്ന സമയത്ത് എനിക്ക് ഒരുപാട് സ്നേഹവും വാത്സല്യവും നൽകിയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരാളാണ്. പല സന്ദർഭങ്ങളിലും അത് അദ്ദേഹം പ്രകടിപ്പിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട് എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ഒരു ഫോൺ കോള് ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴും നേരിട്ട് കാണുമ്പോഴും ചടങ്ങുകളിൽ സംബന്ധിക്കുമ്പോഴുമെല്ലാം അദ്ദേഹം എന്നെപ്പോലെ ഒരു ജനപ്രതിനിധിയെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ചെറുപ്പക്കാരനെ യഥാർത്ഥത്തിൽ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് ഉൾക്കൊള്ളണം എന്ന് നിർബന്ധമുള്ള ഒരു കാര്യമല്ല. ബിക്കോസ് ഈസ് എ വെരി വെറ്ററൻ, വെരി ഗ്രേറ്റ് വിഷണറി ലീഡർ. ബട്ട് ദി സിഗ്നിഫിക്കൻസ് ഓർ ദി മോസ്റ്റ് വാല്യുബിൾ nature I saw in him was he was very keen to understand who is who. ഒരു വളർന്നു വരുന്ന ഒരാളെ അദ്ദേഹം ആക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന, റെസ്പെക്റ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന, ഈവൻ ദോ വി ഡോണ്ട് ഡിസേർവ് ദറ്റ്, ഹി മെയ്ഡ് ഷുവർ ദറ്റ് എവരിബഡി അറൗണ്ട് ഹിം ഇസ് റെസ്പെക്റ്റഡ്. ഇപ്പോൾ സൂചിപ്പിച്ചതുപോലെ തന്നെ ഒരുപാട് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ മാനുഷികമായ മുഖം പ്രകടിപ്പിക്കുന്ന ഒരുപാട് പദ്ധതികൾ I can explain, the list will go on and on and on and on. അത് മുത്തൂറ്റിൻ്റെ ഒരു വലിയ സവിശേഷതയായിരുന്നു. അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു വലിയ വിശാലമായ മനസ്സായിരുന്നു. അതിലെല്ലാം അഭിമാനവും സന്തോഷവും കൊള്ളുന്നുണ്ട്. പലപ്പോഴും ജനപ്രതിനിധികളുടെ ഒരു വലിയ കൺസ്ട്രെയിൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ചിലപ്പോൾ ചില മേഖലകളിലേക്ക് എത്തിച്ചെല്ലാൻ തദ്ദേശീയ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾക്കോ സർക്കാരുകൾക്കോ കഴിയാറില്ല. അവിടെ എല്ലാം ഒരുപാട് നിയമക്കുരുക്കുകൾ ഉണ്ടാവാറുണ്ട്. ഒരു MLA ഫണ്ട് സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യണം, ഒരു MP ലാഡ് ഫണ്ട് സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ അതിന് ഒരുപാട് നോംസ് ആൻഡ് റെസ്ട്രിക്ഷൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. ബട്ട് ഫോർ എ ഡിസേർവിങ് കമ്മ്യൂണിറ്റി, ഇപ്പോൾ ഇന്ന് ഇവിടെ ആഷിയാന അനൗൺസ് ചെയ്ത 16 വീടുകളാണ്. ആ 16 വീടുകൾ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് 2004 സുനാമിയിൽ വീടുകൾ നഷ്ടപ്പെട്ട് സർക്കാർ ഭൂമി നൽകി മറ്റൊരു ഏജൻസി വീട് പണിത് കൊടുത്തു. പക്ഷെ അതെല്ലാം ചതുപ്പ് ഭൂമിയിലായിരുന്നു, തീരപ്രദേശത്തുള്ള ആളുകളാണ്. ഈ മുത്തൂറ്റിൻ്റെ ആളുകൾ അവിടെ വന്ന് നോക്കി അതിനെടുത്തൊരു എഫേർട്ട് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്, നേരിട്ട് വന്ന് കണ്ട് അപ്പോഴും വിശ്വസിക്കാൻ പറ്റാതെ 3-4 വർഷമായി വെള്ളത്തിൽ ജീവിക്കുന്ന ആളുകൾ, ജീവിക്കുന്നെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ലിറ്ററലി ഫ്രിഡ്ജ് ഉള്ള വീടാണെങ്കിൽ, കട്ടിലുള്ള വീടാണെങ്കിൽ അവർ ഇഷ്ടിക വെച്ച് അതിൻ്റെ മുകളിൽ ജീവിക്കുന്ന ആളുകളാണ്. അങ്ങനെയുള്ള ആളുകളെ ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യാനും അവരുടെ ലൈഫ് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്യാനും ആഷിയാന എന്ന ഹൗസിംഗ് പ്രോജക്റ്റിന് കഴിഞ്ഞു. അത് ജോർജ് സാറിൻ്റെ മെമ്മറിയിൽ അത് ചെയ്യുന്നു എന്നുള്ളത് ഏറെ സന്തോഷകരമാണ്, അഭിമാനകരമാണ്. മറ്റൊന്നും പറയാതെ തന്നെ, ഐ എം വെരി ഷുവർ ദറ്റ് this book, I was fortunate enough to see the book. I'm pretty sure that this would be a great motivation and inspiration to the young people of this country who would love to excel in many different aspects of life. Thank you. Jai Hind.
എറണാകുളത്തിൻ്റെ പ്രിയങ്കരനായ എംപിയുടെ വാക്കുകൾക്ക് നന്ദി. Today we are really happy to have with us some distinguished guests who are very close to late Shri M.G. George Muthoot on the occasion of this book release. I would request them to share their thoughts. First, let me invite to the dais Shri P.J. Kurian, the former Deputy Chairman of Rajya Sabha. Welcome, sir.
അഭിമന്യ തിരുമേനി, മിസ്സസ് സാറ പി ജോർജ്, മുത്തൂറ്റ് കുടുംബാംഗങ്ങളെ, സഹോദരിമാരെ, സഹോദരങ്ങളെ, ഒരുപാട് ഓർമ്മകൾ എൻ്റെ മനസ്സിൽ കടന്നു വരുന്നുണ്ട്. ജോയിയുമായിട്ടുള്ള ദീർഘകാലത്തെ ബന്ധം, അതിലേത് പറയണം പറയണ്ട, എനിക്ക് 3 മിനിറ്റേ ഉള്ളൂ, ചൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ കഴിയുന്നില്ല. കാരണം ഓരോ ഓർമ്മയും അത്രമാത്രം പ്രധാനപ്പെട്ടതും ഹൃദയസ്പർശിയുമാണ്, മറക്കാനാവാത്ത ഓർമ്മകൾ. അതിലേക്ക് അതുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ കടക്കുന്നില്ല, ഒരുപാട് കാര്യം. എന്നാൽ ജോയിയെക്കുറിച്ചുള്ള എൻ്റെ ഒരു മാറി നിന്നുള്ള അസസ്മെൻറ്റ്, അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ വ്യക്തിത്വത്തെക്കുറിച്ച്, വാട്ട് ഈസ് മൈ അസസ്മെൻറ്റ്, അത് മാത്രം 3 മിനിറ്റ് കൊണ്ട് പറയാമെന്ന് വിചാരിക്കുകയാണ്. ഇവിടെ തിരുമേനി പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ സ്റ്റാർട്ടഡ് ആസ് എൻ എൻ്റർപ്രനർ. എന്നാൽ വാല്യൂ ബേസ്ഡ് എൻ്റർപ്രനർ. എന്തായിരുന്നു ആ എൻ്റർപ്രനറുടെ പ്രത്യേകത? ആസ് എൻ എൻ്റർപ്രനർ he was a different person. An entrepreneur with a difference. An entrepreneur with a special attitude towards business, with a special approach. An entrepreneur whose foundation is faith, prayer, and hard work. Tirumeni already told about his hard work. അതിൻ്റെ കൂടെ 2 കൂടെ ഞാൻ ചേർക്കുകയാണ്. ഈ എൻ്റർപ്രനർ, ഫെയ്ത്ത് ആൻഡ് പ്രയർ, ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക്, ഇത് 3 കൂടെ ആയിരുന്നു അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ. എനിക്കൊരുപാട് ഉദാഹരണങ്ങൾ പറയാനുണ്ട്, ഞാൻ അതിലേക്ക് കടക്കുന്നില്ല. ഈ വിഷയത്തെക്കുറിച്ച് തന്നെ. ദെൻ എ വെരി സക്സസ്ഫുൾ ബിസിനസ്മാൻ. A businessman with a difference. What is the difference? The difference, according to me, is honesty, integrity, and a commitment to society. ഇവിടെ CSR സ്കീമിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞു, ഇവിടെ പ്രഖ്യാപിച്ചു. ഹൈബി ഈഡൻ പറഞ്ഞത് അബ്സല്യൂട്ട്ലി കറക്റ്റ്. കേന്ദ്ര ഗവൺമെൻറ് CSR സ്കീംസ് മാൻഡേറ്ററി ആക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് CSR തൻ്റെ ജീവിതത്തിലും തൻ്റെ ബിസിനസ്സിലും മാൻഡേറ്ററി ആക്കി നടപ്പാക്കിയ ആളാണ് ശ്രീ M.G. ജോർജ്. He's a very successful businessman. I have heard so many things about so many businessmen, successful businessmen. But not a single incident, not a single person is pointing a finger against M.G. George. He is no more. I have association with him. My association is at least 50 years. Not a single person about his business honesty, integrity. Yes, as a businessman, he's a person of difference, a businessman with a difference. Then, as a human being, എല്ലാവരും അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഹ്യൂമൻ ആസ്പെക്റ്റിനെ കുറിച്ച് പറഞ്ഞു. എന്തായിരുന്നു അതിൻ്റെ എക്സ്പ്രഷൻ എന്തായിരുന്നു? ആസ് എ ഹ്യൂമൻ ബീയിങ്, he was a man with a difference. That difference is love, care, and compassion. തിരുമേനി ഒരു കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞു. How this can blend together, come together in one person. Being a successful businessman, being a successful entrepreneur, at the same time, man with love, care, and compassion. In fact, M.J. George is a harmonious blending of all these qualities. Faith, prayer, and hard work, love, care, and compassion, all these together, integrity and honesty, all this put in one person. Oh, that is a very, very rare combination. I don't think you can see. You can see a successful businessman, but some other qualities which I said will be lacking. We can see a successful politician, but some other qualities will be missing. You can see a religious heart, again, some other qualities will be missing. But here is a personality, all these qualities embracing, coming together, a harmonious blending of all these qualities, and that is Shri M.G. George. Yes, God has created him specially for us, for being a model to us. He's a model to businessmen, he's a model to religious persons, he's a model to social worker, he's a model to all of us. He left us early, but God needed him there. Rabindranath Tagore has said that God calls those who loves him. The gardener, the owner of the garden went to the garden, and so he could see so many flowers, but picked up one which he loved most, which he loves most. God, because he loved him so much, he loved Sri M.G. George so much, picked him up and took him away from us, because God loved him so much. Yes, a person who loved humanity and also who was loved by God. That was Sri M.G. George. എൻ്റെ എല്ലാ ആദരാഞ്ജലികളും അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഓർമ്മയുടെ മുമ്പിൽ അർപ്പിക്കുന്നു. നമസ്കാരം.
Thank you, sir. Let me now invite Shri Deepak L. Aswani, the chairman of the FICCI State Kerala Council. Welcome, sir.
For everyone present here, don't you feel that the spirit of Shri M.G. George Muthoot is around this hall? There's not a minute or a second that I felt today that he is not with us. He's been with us, and somewhere from above, he is keeping this family and this group and all his friends, associates blessed. I recall that whenever we met, he would always explain to us how devout he was and what his family has been doing from its inception. And it was basically the ethics, the values, and all the love that goes right down the line till the very last person in the family, the youngsters. At the same time, I will not hesitate to quote a couple of his sentences from the annual report of Muthoot, which says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit." Our sustained and quality growth over the years is a testament to our ability to deliver excellence in everything we do. Conducting business with integrity and transparency, enhancing operational efficiency, and embracing the latest technology. We also know that excellence is a moving target. We remain entrenched in our constant pursuit of excellence, deepening our engagement with our customers, widening our base throughout India, and innovating our offerings. To that extent, being the largest NBFC in the country and at the rate at which Muthoot is right now growing, I'm sure will be a world force to reckon with. In fact, as India stands with such huge gold reserves, which are as much as what all the other countries in the world have, and slowly bringing them out and putting it for the social cause, I think India is definitely going to be the #1 country, and we can always be proud of the fact that Mr. M.G. George Muthoot is also one of the pillars behind this success. Mr. M.G. George Muthoot always held FICCI, the apex body of chambers of industry in the country, very close to his heart. He would even draw similarity and cherished with the pride that the FICCI was founded as per the advice of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, to promote and protect the interest of Indian companies in 1927. His initials, MG, stands for Mahatma Gandhi, is what he used to jocularly remark. And as such, M.G. George Muthoot was more obliged to promote FICCI for the national cause. He became the chair of FICCI Kerala State Council in 2006, and ever since the office of FICCI was established in Kerala in 2013, Mr. George was chairing the activities of FICCI in Kerala. He was also a national executive member for the past many years. He was so passionate about the development of trade and industry in Kerala, and one could see him moving around the business circles and also in the various national executive meetings. He would use his famous words, "Arey bhai," tap somebody on the shoulder, and literally bringing down the biggest of biggest industrialists down to his level. And he would get things done also. In fact, whenever we used to talk to him about various projects and various things that FICCI Kerala can do, he would always say, "Don't bring anything small to me. We have to do something big." And one of the biggest things that he did during his last days was that trade hartals should be banned in Kerala. He was very close to former Chief Minister Shri Chandi, and later on when Shri Pinarayi Vijayan became the CM of Kerala for the first time in 2016, he was only one of very few industrialists present at the oath-taking ceremony. He had shared dais with Shri Pinarayi Vijayan on FICCI events, and on one occasion, he even booked an air ticket next to the CM on the way from Delhi to Trivandrum, so as to spend more time with the CM and to appraise CM and discuss in detail about the investment initiatives undertaken by FICCI in some other states in the country and to replicate those in Kerala. He was very bold and courageous to put up his viewpoints across in black and white with senior political leaders of the state, no matter whether the person on the other side may not always be on the same page. He initiated a big movement against hartal in the state through FICCI, which was well supported by all the chambers, industry, trade bodies across the state. The state government also then spoke about the introduction of a bill in the state assembly. From almost 90 to 100 days of hartal in a year, it's virtually vanished. He had a big circle of friends and maintained close relations with prominent industrialists. I've said that before. The other thing I would fondly remember is he used to have a very small pocket book in his left side shirt pocket. And that was probably one of his most dangerous weapons, I would say. Anything that was new to him, he would mention on that. If we said that, okay, let's say Kerala is a consumer state, and these are the brands that are doing extremely well, he would note it down immediately. And then to ratify it, when he was speaking to somebody else, he would say, this is what I heard from somebody, is it true? So he was not just talking what the other man said, but he was ratifying it all the time. I'm very positive that the soul of Shri Muthoot would be very happy to note that FICCI in Kerala has been established as a powerful and well sought after organization by the government, industry and business community in Kerala in a short span of almost 10 years. We also plan to come out with annual FICCI KESC awards jointly with Muthoot Group to promote Kerala-based organizations who have excelled in various sectors of industry and business. Lastly, on behalf of FICCI KESC and entire FICCI team, I would like to acknowledge with gratitude the selfless and human services rendered by Shri M.G. George Muthoot. And I'm sure the family members and the team at Muthoot are definitely going to reach, unreachable targets for other people. The last sentence I would like to say again comes from the annual report, and it says, this is a reflection of our concerted efforts over the years to live our purpose, driving financial inclusion and empowering people across the social pyramid. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. We have with us here the original superstar of Malayalam movie industry, Shri Balachandra Menon, the multi-talented film actor, director and scriptwriter who carved a niche for himself, being family values the core of his movies. Let me request Shri Balachandra Menon to kindly come over to the dais and share his fond memories with our late chairman.
മാന്യ സദസ്സിന് നമസ്കാരം. വിശക്കുന്നതിൻ്റെ മുമ്പിൽ ദൈവമാണെങ്കിലും അപ്പമായിട്ടേ അവതരിക്കാറുള്ളൂ എന്നത് വ്യക്തമായിട്ട് അറിയാവുന്നത് കൊണ്ട് ഐ വിൽ ട്രൈ ടു ബി ആസ് ബ്രീഫ് ആസ് പോസിബിൾ. വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് വയലാർ രാമവർമ്മ ഒരു സിനിമയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടി എഴുതിയ 2 വരികൾ, അതാണ് എനിക്ക് ഓർമ്മ വരുന്നത്. ഏതു ജന്മത്തിൽ ഏതു സന്ധ്യയിൽ എവിടെ വെച്ചു നാം കണ്ടു, ആദ്യമായി എവിടെ വെച്ചു നാം കണ്ടു. ഇതാണ് ഞാനും ശ്രീ M.G. ജോർജ് മുത്തൂറ്റ്, അദ്ദേഹം വിളിക്കാൻ പാടില്ല എന്ന് അദ്ദേഹത്തെ വിളിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരുന്നത് ചെയർമാൻ എന്നാണ്, അദ്ദേഹവുമായിട്ടുള്ള ബന്ധത്തിൻ്റെ ഒരു തുടക്കം ഇതാണ്. We met just like that without any agenda. But it grew so fast. എനിക്ക് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അത് എൻ്റെ മനസ്സിൻ്റെ വാതിലുകൾ ഞാൻ അത്ര പെട്ടെന്ന് അങ്ങ് തുറക്കുന്ന ആളല്ല. പക്ഷേ അദ്ദേഹം എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് പറഞ്ഞത് ജോയ് ചെന്ന് വിളിക്കണം. അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞ് വിളിക്കുമ്പോൾ നമുക്കൊരു ചെറിയ നാണമൊക്കെ വരും. പക്ഷേ അദ്ദേഹം എൻ്റെ നാണമൊക്കെ മാറ്റിയെടുത്തു. ഞങ്ങൾ വളരെ ക്ലോസായി. എൻ്റെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് അദ്ദേഹം കടന്നു വന്നത് ഞാൻ ഈ ഓർമ്മക്കുറിപ്പിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. എൻ്റെ മകളുടെ വിവാഹം വളരെ കാഷ്വലായിട്ട് ഞാനൊന്ന് അറിയിച്ചതിൻ്റെ പിന്നാലെ അദ്ദേഹം എൻ്റെ മുമ്പിൽ അവതരിക്കുമെന്ന് ഞാൻ പ്രതീക്ഷിച്ചില്ല. അദ്ദേഹം വന്നു. എൻ്റെ ഒരു ജ്യേഷ്ഠൻ്റെ സ്ഥാനത്ത് നിന്നുകൊണ്ട് ആ കല്യാണം തീരുന്നത് വരെ അദ്ദേഹം അറ്റൻഡ് ചെയ്തെടുത്ത് ഞാൻ കണ്ണ് തള്ളിപ്പോയി. അങ്ങനെ തുടങ്ങിയ ബന്ധമാണ്. പിന്നെ ഞാൻ ഡൽഹിയിൽ പോയി അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കുടുംബമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടു. എനിക്ക് എല്ലാം കൊണ്ട് ഐ വാസ് ഓൾവേസ് ലുക്കിംഗ് അപ് ടു ഹിം ബിക്കോസ് ആസ് എവരിബഡി റിമാർക്ട് ഹിയർ, ഹി ഹാഡ് സംതിങ് ഒറിജിനൽ ആൻഡ് ഇന്നോവേറ്റീവ് അബൌട്ട് ഹിം. അതുണ്ടായിരുന്നു, എന്ന് പറയാതിരിക്കുന്ന നിവൃത്തിയില്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ തിരുമേനി അസലായിട്ട് അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഡിഫൈൻ ചെയ്തു. എനിക്കിത് വളരെ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു. അപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹം തുടങ്ങിയപ്പോൾ പറഞ്ഞത് ഈ മുഖത്തെ ചിരി, അത് എന്താണ് ആ സ്മൈൽ, ദ സീക്രട്ട് ബിഹൈൻഡ് എ സ്മൈൽ എന്നാണ് ചോദിച്ചത്. പക്ഷേ അതിൻ്റെ ഉത്തരം ഞാൻ മനസ്സിലാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതായത് നമ്മളെല്ലാം സാധാരണക്കാരായിട്ട് ജനിച്ചിട്ട് വളരുന്നു. പക്ഷേ നമ്മുടെ എല്ലാം ആഗ്രഹം വളരണമെന്നുള്ളതാണ്. വളരുക എന്നുള്ളതിൻ്റെ ഡയമെൻഷൻ പലർക്കും പലതായിരിക്കും. അത് പണം കൊണ്ടാവാം, പ്രശസ്തി കൊണ്ടാവാം, അധികാരം കൊണ്ടാവാം, എല്ലാം ആയിക്കോട്ടെ. പക്ഷേ നമ്മൾ വളരും തോറും നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യം, ജനിച്ചപ്പോൾ തന്നെ നമ്മുടെ ഉള്ളിൽ ദൈവം ഒരു കുട്ടിയെ തന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഒരു ചൈൽഡ്സ് ഇൻസ്റ്റിങ്ക്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയും. എല്ലാത്തിനെയും കാണാനും രസിക്കാനും സന്തോഷിക്കാനുള്ള ഒരു മനസ്സ്, അതാണ് ആ കുട്ടി. ഒരു നല്ല കുട്ടിയുടെ മനസ്സുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഒരു നല്ല ഭർത്താവുമായിരിക്കും, വേറെ സംശയവും വേണ്ട. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ ഞാൻ കണ്ടത് അദ്ദേഹം ഇത്രയൊക്കെ നേടിയെങ്കിലും അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ഉള്ളിലെ കുട്ടി എന്ന് സജീവം, ആ കുട്ടിയുടെ ചിരിയാണ് ആ മുഖത്ത് നമ്മൾ കാണുന്നത്. പക്ഷേ എല്ലാവർക്കും ആ ചിരി പ്രാക്ടീസ് ചെയ്യാൻ ബുദ്ധിമുട്ടാണ്. പലപ്പോഴും ആ കുട്ടിയെ നമ്മൾ മറക്കുകയും നമ്മൾ പൈശാചികമായിട്ട് പെരുമാറുകയും ചെയ്യുമ്പോഴാണ് ഹ്യൂമാനിറ്റി എന്ന വാക്ക് നമ്മൾ കടമെടുക്കേണ്ടി വരുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഞാൻ പഠിച്ചൊരു പാഠം അതാണ്. അതായത് ഏത് കാര്യത്തിലും അദ്ദേഹം എടുത്തിരുന്ന ഒരു നിലപാട് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അദ്ദേഹം പറയുന്ന രീതി, അദ്ദേഹം മരിക്കുന്നതിന് മുമ്പ് എന്താണെന്നറിയില്ല, വിധി കൊണ്ടായിരിക്കാം, എന്നോട് ഒരുപാട് എടുക്കുകയും ഞാൻ പലപ്പോഴും എന്താണ് ഈ അടുപ്പത്തിൻ്റെ അർത്ഥം, കാരണം നമ്മളൊന്നും അങ്ങനെ യാതൊരു രീതിയിലുള്ള ബിസിനസ് ബന്ധങ്ങളുമില്ല. ആ സമയത്തും അസമയത്തും ഒക്കെ എന്നെ ഫോൺ ചെയ്ത് ചില കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ തുറന്ന് പറയുകയും ചോദിക്കുകയും, അതായത് ആ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം നമ്മൾ അനുവദിച്ചു കൊടുക്കുന്ന ആ സ്വാതന്ത്ര്യം നമ്മൾ ആസ്വദിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യും. അത്തരത്തിലുള്ള ഒരു നിഷ്കർഷ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കാര്യത്തിൽ പുലർത്തി. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ആയിരിക്കണം ഒരു പക്ഷേ ഇങ്ങനൊരു ചടങ്ങ് വന്നപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ എറണാകുളത്തുണ്ടാകാനും എന്നെ ജേക്കബ് ജോർജ് വിളിച്ചപ്പോൾ തന്നെ എനിക്ക് വരാനും സാധിച്ചതിൽ എനിക്ക് അങ്ങേയറ്റം സന്തോഷമുണ്ട്. ഇല്ല, എനിക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കുടുംബത്തിൻ്റെയും അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ ബിസിനസ് സ്ഥാപനത്തിൻ്റെ എല്ലാവിധമായ ഇനിയുള്ള ഐശ്വര്യങ്ങൾക്കും വേണ്ടി പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കാൻ മാത്രമേ സാധിക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ. എൻ്റെ അദ്ദേഹത്തെ ഇവിടെ സംസാരിച്ച ഒരു മാന്യ വ്യക്തി പറഞ്ഞു, എനിക്കും ഇവിടെ കയറി വന്നപ്പോൾ പെട്ടെന്ന് ഞാൻ അവിടെ ഇവിടെയൊക്കെ നോക്കിയപ്പോൾ ഐ റിയലി ഫെൽറ്റ് ഹിസ് പ്രസൻസ്. ഈ പറഞ്ഞ ഈ ദ സ്മൈൽ ഓൺ ദ ഫേസും വെച്ചിട്ട് എന്തിനേയും ഫേസ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഒരു കോൺഫിഡൻസ് കൊടുത്തിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്ന ചെയർമാനെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അദ്ദേഹം പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ ജോയിച്ചിനെ ഞാൻ അവിടെ ഇവിടെയൊക്കെ ഞാൻ മനസ്സിൽ കണ്ടു എന്നുള്ള സത്യം തന്നെയാണ്. ഇത് കൺക്ലൂഡ് ചെയ്യുന്നതും ഞാൻ വയലാറിൽ നിന്ന് 2 വരികൾ കടമെടുത്ത പോലെ എൻ്റെ അധ്യാപകനായ ശ്രീ ON കുറുപ്പ് സിനിമയിലൊരു നായകന് പാടാൻ വേണ്ടി എഴുതിയാണെങ്കിലും ആ 2 വരികൾ ഇവിടെ അർത്ഥവത്താണെന്ന് ഞാൻ കരുതുന്നു. അരികിൽ നീയുണ്ടായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ എന്നു ഞാൻ ഒരു മാത്ര വെറുതെ നനച്ചുപോയി, ഒരു മാത്ര വെറുതെ നനച്ചുപോയി. ഗോഡ് ബ്ലസ്.
ഹൃദയത്തിൽ തട്ടിയുള്ള വാക്കുകൾക്ക് നന്ദി സർ. Let me now invite Shri Jose Kurian, Consultant to Government of Kerala, to address the audience. Welcome, sir.
His Grace Irenis Tirumani, former Deputy Chairman P.J. Kurian, Honorable Haibi Eden, and other distinguished personalities of the dais as well as in the gathering. 50 years of association is very difficult to define and extremely difficult to explain to every one of you. He came to Delhi as an engineering graduate and came to Faridabad and set up his shop, probably because Leela was there, his sister, and her husband Bauchan. Started on a small scale, but big dreams. We met almost immediately, and even though we had some earlier connections because my wife is his classmate, he started explaining why he's in Delhi and what brought him here. So when the request came from Raju that I should contribute to a small contribution to this book, I was remembering that moment, explaining that I tried to put it in the book, so I hope you will read it. There was a reason why he came there, because probably he mentioned I have to start from the beginning and I have to reach the top. So that was one nature he had, as Tirumani has mentioned rightly, to dream. In fact, it's not a joke. He used to mention, Jose, what I want to be, I want to be the Prime Minister of India. It's not one, several times. It's not to rule or to gain power. But it's the only idea was that I have ideas bringing in my head. And I know each one of them can help this country. And that's the reason why I want to be the Prime Minister of this country. But those were the dreams. But give him credit for his actions when he came there. As mentioned here on a company's growth, I need not mention here. But on his personal ground when he worked in Delhi, because most of his karma bhumi was Delhi, and I don't think that anybody is left in Delhi who doesn't know him. Or he himself ventured and made him a friend, as Mr. Balchandra Menon was explaining. In fact, if he goes to his guest house in Delhi, you will see a book written by Balchandra Menon. That is the kind of relationships he used to keep, and that is the kind of initiative he took to make friends with everyone. Let it be the Prime Minister or a Member of Parliament, or as it was mentioned here, a small fry. And he continued genuinely that relationship throughout his life. I don't think anyone who has come across him has gone away from his list. He used to keep in his pocket. And no day was spared without praying for them. People, his family members will know that they have to wait for his dinner till he finishes the prayers from that huge list, the size of a newspaper. So that was joy. He loved his children because we have had many discussions because my children grew up with them. And when Jopu went away, I mean, that was a shock. We have had many times we used to see his grief. And he has never forgotten that. At every time, every moment, he remembers him. And he firmly believed through that Jopu is in touch with him. And he erected a magnificent school in his name in Delhi. Of course, mentored by Sarapi and Raju. He loved his family. He used to discuss about each one of his brothers. Many times, he's one of the, I must say that what he wanted was, I'm not able to express all that I love, all my love to my wife Sarapi. That kind of a man, he was genuine to the core. You can't believe that each one of us, we keep levels, differences and other things. But ultimately, he was a man personified. What a man should be like that while discussing the business improving and everything, he used to think about the last person. True with every one of his employees there. I was really surprised to see him that every one of the employees that comes to him, he calls his by name. I don't know how he manages. Every one of them was known to him, every one of us is friends. When he came to Delhi, we had only one church in Hoskas. So his agenda was, at the time, our bishop was Paulus Gregorios. One of the requests he made was, we can't manage with one, we need a dozen. And by the time he passed away, he achieved that, or the full dozen he has created in Delhi. Contributed not money, but personally by being his presence there. And there are many occasions in which Kurian sir will know that we have had crisis to face. And he enjoyed that, to stand up to the challenge, face the challenge and get it done. And as he always said, not because of his strength, but he believed ultimately in God. He had no doubt about anything, that mission. right from the beginning. I mean, when he came to Delhi, he came with a mission because, as he says, there was a crisis. But I will overcome that crisis. But the continued faith that is kept, it is, you must be inspired by that faith. At no time he knew that he cannot face a challenge and get through that. Many challenges, many challenges that happened in Delhi. He came to a strange place. He didn't know the language. He didn't know any one of them there. But within a short time, there was no one who was not his friend. And he thanked his God for all those achievements that is made. And I'm very sure that he will be watching us. And I'm also sure that the proof of the pudding is in the eating. The company is doing much better. His family members are doing better. And his prayers are with us. And I thank you all for listening to me. But I can't forget, my only prayer was that I should not become emotional. Thank God for that one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. The director of the well-known brand Fruto Mans, Shri Jose Thomas, is with us here. So I would request you to speak a few words on this occasion.
മാന്യ സദസ്സിന് നമസ്കാരം. ഞാൻ മലയാളത്തിലാണ് പറയാൻ പോകുന്നത്. ഇപ്പം എല്ലാവരും ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് പറഞ്ഞുകൊണ്ട് ഞാൻ വിചാരിച്ചു മലയാളത്തിലാക്കാമെന്ന് വിചാരിച്ചു. ശ്രീ MG ജോർജ് മുത്തൂറ്റ് വലുതായി ചിന്തിക്കുകയും മറ്റാരും നടക്കാത്ത വഴിയിലൂടെ സഞ്ചരിക്കാൻ ധൈര്യം കാണിക്കുകയും ചെയ്ത അത്ഭുതകരമായ വളർച്ച സ്വന്തമാക്കണമെന്ന് സ്വന്തം പ്രവൃത്തി ശൈലി കൊണ്ട് തെളിയിച്ച ഒരു പ്രതിഭാശാലിയായിരുന്നു ശ്രീ MG ജോർജ് മുത്തൂറ്റ് എന്ന ജോയിച്ചായൻ. മുത്തൂറ്റ് വടവൃക്ഷം പോലെ പടർന്ന് പന്തലിച്ചതും ഗ്രൂപ്പിന് കീഴിലെ പ്രമുഖ സ്ഥാപനമായ മുത്തൂറ്റ് ഫൈനാൻസ് ലിമിറ്റഡിൻ്റെ രാജ്യത്തെ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ സ്വർണ്ണ വായ്പ കമ്പനിയായി മാറിയതും അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ കീഴിലാണ്. സംരംഭക മികവ് ജോയിച്ചായനോടൊപ്പം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പത്തനംതിട്ടയിലെ കോലഞ്ചേരിയിലെ മുത്തൂറ്റ് ഗ്രൂപ്പ് സ്ഥാപകൻ മുത്തൂറ്റ് നൈനാൻ മത്തായിയുടെ ചെറുമകനും മുത്തൂറ്റ് ഫൈനാൻസ് സ്ഥാപകനായ M. ജോർജ് മുത്തൂറ്റിൻ്റെ മകനുമായി 1949 നവംബർ 2 MG ജോർജ് മുത്തൂറ്റ് ജനിച്ചത്. എഞ്ചിനീയറിംഗ് ബിരുദം നേടിയ ഉടനെ കുടുംബ ബിസിനസ്സിൽ ഓഫീസ് അസിസ്റ്റൻ്റായി ചേർന്നു. 1979 മുത്തൂറ്റ് ഗ്രൂപ്പിൻ്റെ മാനേജിംഗ് ഡയറക്ടറായി. 1993 ഗ്രൂപ്പ് ചെയർമാനായി ചുമതലയേൽക്കുമ്പോൾ കേരളം, ഡൽഹി, ചണ്ഡീഗഡ്, ഹരിയാന എന്നിവിടങ്ങളിൽ മാത്രം ബ്രാഞ്ചുകൾ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നുള്ളൂ. ജോയിച്ചായൻ്റെ നേതൃത്വത്തിൽ ഇന്ത്യയിലും വിദേശത്തുമായി ധാരാളം ബ്രാഞ്ചുകൾ, 20-ലേറെ വൈവിധ്യമാർന്ന ബിസിനസ് വിഭാഗങ്ങൾ വിപുലമായ നിലയിലേക്ക് ഗ്രൂപ്പ് കുതിച്ചുയർന്നു. കരുത്തുറ്റ പാരമ്പര്യത്തിൻ്റെ അടിത്തറ കെട്ടിപ്പടുത്ത കുടുംബ ബിസിനസ്സിനെ ഇന്ത്യയിലെ തന്നെ മികച്ച കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് കമ്പനിയായി വളർത്താൻ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് കഴിഞ്ഞു. വളർച്ചാ സാധ്യതയുള്ള പുതിയ മേഖലകൾ കണ്ടെത്തി അവിടെ ബിസിനസ്സിൻ്റെ പ്രവർത്തനം വിപുലീകരിക്കാനും ശ്രദ്ധ പതിപ്പിച്ചു. സ്വർണ്ണ വായ്പ രംഗത്ത് സുതാര്യമായ ബിസിനസ് ശൈലി കൊണ്ടുവരാനും ശ്രീ MG ജോർജ് മുത്തൂറ്റിൻ്റെ പ്രവർത്തനം സഹായിച്ചു. ഇടപാടുകാരെ മുന്നിൽ കണ്ടുകൊണ്ടായിരുന്നു അദ്ദേഹം ബിസിനസ് നയസമീപനങ്ങൾ ആവിഷ്കരിച്ചിട്ടുള്ളത്. സ്വർണ്ണ വായ്പാ സ്ഥാപനങ്ങൾ വട്ടിപ്പലിശക്കാരല്ലെന്നും ബാങ്കിന് തുല്യം സേവനങ്ങളും സൗകര്യങ്ങളും നൽകുന്ന ഇടമാണെന്ന ബോധ്യം പൊതുസമൂഹത്തിലെത്തിക്കാൻ മുത്തൂറ്റ് ഫൈനാൻസിന് സാധിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിൻ്റെ അംഗീകാരം മുഴുവൻ മിസ്റ്റർ MG ജോർജ് മുത്തൂറ്റിന് അർഹതപ്പെട്ടാണ്. അർഹതയ്ക്കുള്ള അംഗീകാരമായി നിരവധി ബഹുമതികൾ അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് തേടിയെത്തി. ഇന്ത്യൻ വ്യവസായ മേഖലയിൽ നൽകിയ സംഭാവനകൾ മാനിച്ച് മഹാത്മാഗാന്ധി നാഷണൽ അവാർഡ്, കോർപ്പറേറ്റ് സോഷ്യൽ റെസ്പോൺസിബിലിറ്റിക്കുള്ള സുവർണ്ണ മയൂര പുരസ്കാരം എന്നിവ അവയിൽ ചിലത് മാത്രമാണ്. ജോയിച്ചായന് പകരം ജോയിച്ചായൻ മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഞങ്ങൾ തമ്മിൽ പരിചയപ്പെട്ടിട്ട് വളരെ കുറച്ച് ആളെ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നുള്ളൂ. 3 കൊല്ലമാണ് ഞങ്ങളുടെ പരിചയം. പക്ഷെ വളരെ അടുത്ത ഇടവഴുകി എന്നെ മിക്കവാറും ആഴ്ചയിലല്ലെങ്കിൽ 10 ദിവസത്തിലൊരിക്കൽ ഡൽഹിയിൽ നിന്ന് വിളിക്കും. ഇവിടെ വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ പറയും, ജോസ് നീ ഒന്ന് എൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് വന്നിരിക്കും. ഞാൻ പറയും, ഞാൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്യാനാ, ഇവിടെ വന്നിരിക്കും. എന്തെങ്കിലും ചുമയോ എന്തെങ്കിലും നീരുവീഴ്ചയൊക്കെ വരും, ഞാൻ പറയും ജോയിച്ചാൽ എനിക്ക് സുഖമില്ല. അപ്പോൾ പുള്ളി ഏതാണ്ടൊരു കഷായം ഉണ്ടാക്കി വയ്ക്കും. എന്നിട്ട് പറയും ഇവിടെ ഒന്ന് കഴിക്കാൻ പറയും. എനിക്കൊരിക്കലും മറക്കാൻ പറ്റാത്തൊരു ജോയിച്ചായൻ. ഇനി നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്, അദ്ദേഹം മുകളിലിരുന്ന് ഇതെല്ലാം കാണുന്നുണ്ട്, നമുക്ക് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് നമ്മുടെ പ്രാർത്ഥനയിൽ സ്മരിക്കാനേ പറ്റുള്ളൂ. അത് തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും ചെയ്യണം. നന്ദി, നമസ്കാരം.
Nandi sir. Yet another close friend of our late group chairman, Shri Anand Menon, the former chairman of Cochin Chamber of Commerce and Industries here. I'd request him to kindly come over.
His Excellency Dr. Yaqub Mar Irenius, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I speak today as a friend, as a classmate of Muthoot and George, not as a former chairman of Cochin Chamber of Commerce and Industry. I see two former chairmen sitting in the audience. My friend M.G. George Muthoot from college days was a hard-working and a studious individual. He always pursued problems, if any, to its conclusion in a time-bound manner. He was a person of integrity and very religious, even in college days. He never wasted time in frivolous activities and always strived for the best. Right after getting married, they went to Delhi, literally for their honeymoon, and stayed on. First, acquiring and running a hardboard factory, about which mention was made, and later starting a chit fund business, which flourished like anything. He started several branches and then ventured to acquire a school which grew to become one of the best in Delhi. He saw great potential in monetization of assets like gold and started loan against gold business. By then, his reputation, trustworthiness, and political influence had grown very much in Delhi. So did the company and the branches all over India. From there was no stopping him. His drive, enthusiasm, hard work, and passion for excellence made Muthoot Finance the #1 gold loan company in India. Diversifying into higher education and healthcare, his charitable work also matched his growth in business and assets. Hospitality business soon came under his keen business lens, and another division among the 20-odd divisions came to be. George had always been a meticulous planner who liked to get into details and change with times, adopting best management practices and technology for greater efficiency. At this juncture, I would like to remember the Manipal alumni meet which he organized for our batch in 2018 in Kerala, which will be a happy experience, a memory which we will never forget. On that occasion, in spite of her ailments, his missus graciously accompanied us all the way throughout the entire tour in a bus, and we enjoyed the friendship and fellowship on one of our most lovable friends. Ease of operations and reliability, trustworthiness and values of the group made it the largest, with over 250,000 daily customers using their facility. Today, the 70 crore All India customer base over the years speaks volumes of the brand, the trust the brand has in the country. George has got several awards and recognitions, but he used to say, I value the one given by the alma mater the most, the Distinguished Alumnus of the Year award from Manipal University on its Golden Jubilee year at Manipal, for which I was the witness. He has been an inspiring inspiration for and a role model for thousands of students. His younger brother is sitting also from our college in the audience. Fate of destiny was unfortunately took him away from us most unexpectedly and shockingly And people across India and all his well-wishers were deeply in shock. People like M.G. George Muthoot are unusual mortals who come, make a mark in the world, contribute to make our world a better place, and leave when their work is done. Let us all pray for his soul to rest in peace. Jai Hind. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Sil. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of the official function. This has been a very important day for us at Muthoot Group. The event would not have been possible, but for you all. Thank you for being here with us. Let me now request Shri Alexander George Muthoot, the Joint Managing Director of Muthoot Group, to propose the vote of thanks.
His Grace Dr. Yaqub Mar Irene Sirmeni, respected dignitaries, well-wishers, friends, and family members, a very good afternoon to all of you. I would first like to thank God Almighty for His blessings, for providing our family the strength and courage to complete this special book at a very short period of time, and that too at a very emotional time in our lives. This book is filled with testimonies and memories of my dear father, whom I most affectionately called Appa. Appa has been my mentor, my inspiration, and my pillar of strength. I miss him every day of my life, but I know he's still with us, guiding us and praying for us. I have felt his presence on many occasions this last 1 year when I've taken a lot of important decisions in my life. I'm reminded of an equation which Appa always taught us. Everything minus God's blessings is equal to nothing. And nothing plus God's blessings is equal to everything. It is this firm belief that we always kept close to our heart, and that unconditional faith in God, to never lose hope and always keep the faith. We as a family gather our strength from the power of God Almighty to face and deal all these challenges of life. Appa has had a wonderful life with many successes, but those didn't come easy in his life. He had to face numerous challenges, but it is his unconditional faith in God that helped him overcome these challenges. In everything that Appa did or achieved, he would always give credit to God first and always thank God for all his blessings. He lived a very meaningful life and purposeful life, and he lived his life for others more than he ever did for himself. Appa always told us that he saw God in poor people, and we must always do our best to help them in whatever way we can. We stand committed to carry forward his legacy, and I had made a pledge on behalf of our family that we would continue and take forward Appa's legacy, especially on reaching out to the lesser fortunate of society. We have stood firm on that pledge and delivered on that commitment this entire year that has gone by, and also remain committed to contribute back to society in meaningful ways in the future as well. At my father's funeral last year, many well-wishers spoke about him and I was personally overwhelmed and touched by their testimonies, and always thought to myself how we could put together all these memories together and cherish them in the future to celebrate his life. I still remember one day I was on my way back home from office when Biju Achan called me. And he shared his idea about such a book, which was on similar lines to what my dream was. It was like a God-sent message that Biju Achan offered to take up this project, and that's how this journey started. I thank Biju Achan immensely from the bottom of my heart for taking so much time and effort to connect with so many different stakeholders and took full ownership and responsibility of compiling this special book. To be honest with you, at many times, I was very concerned that we are running short of time and we won't be able to put this together in time. But Biju Achan always remained calm and composed at all times and constantly assured me that this will happen with the blessings of God. And here we are today, releasing this book. Thank you very much, Biju Achan, once again for your tireless efforts and hard work that has made this book release possible. I would really appreciate if you all could give him a big round of applause. A special thank you to His Grace Dr. Jakob Mar Irenaeus Termini for writing the preface for this book and for gracing this occasion and blessing all of us. You rightly mentioned about Appa's personality. He lived a very meaningful and purposeful life in the service of others. He lived for others. He prayed for the others. I thank Shri Arif Mohammad Khan, Honorable Governor of Kerala, for his video message and kind words about my father on this special occasion. I thank Shri Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi ji, who tried his best to be here today, but due to his extremely urgent national duty commitments, was unable to attend this event, but still took the time and effort of sending us this special video message. Thank you very much, sir. I thank Shri Hibu Eden for his message on the launch of the special CSR campaign, along with Mr. George Alexander Muthoot. A big thank you to all our special dignitaries present here, Professor P.J. Kurin sir, Mr. Deepak L. Aswani, Shri Balachandra Menon, Shri Josh Kurin, Shri Josh Thomas, Shri Anand Menon for gracing this occasion and making it special for us. I would also like to acknowledge Shri P.J. Kurin sir for helping us in many ways to connect with senior government officials for their valuable contributions for this special book release. In fact, P.J. Kurin sir called me numerous times personally during this journey and took special interest to ensure this book release was a special event and a grand success. Thank you so much, sir. I would also like to thank the numerous well-wishers and senior representatives from the world of business, politics, media, judiciary, public services, extended family members, our Muthoot team members, and other associates who made this book possible by sharing with us their most cherished memories of my father. I thank each one of them from the bottom of my heart, as this means a lot to our family, as we will always treasure these testimonies shared by each and every one of you. I must acknowledge and thank all my family members for their constant support and guidance. I especially thank my father's brothers, Dr. George Matthew, Dr. George Jacob Muthoot, Mr. George Thomas Muthoot, Mr. George Alexander Muthoot, and also my father's one and only sister, Leela Auntie, who have been instrumental with their support and guidance. It's always very enriching to learn about our father's childhood days, his dedication to the family's well-being and unity. I also thank all our Muthoot team members, especially Jijo Sebastian, for his tireless efforts in coordinating with numerous people to gather their messages along with Abhinav Iyer, who has been unrelenting in his efforts and has been actively engaged in the entire process of this book. I also thank Mr. Babu John Malayal and his team for all their efforts associated with this special book release. I also thank Crayons Media for their cover and layout design, SNS printers, as well as all other associates and all their team members for putting in their best efforts to complete this book in time. Once again, a very big thank you to all of you who are present here for taking time out of your busy schedule and being with us here personally, gracing this occasion and blessing us during this special book release, which we will truly cherish. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. As rightly mentioned, I am sure everyone in the audience will cherish this day for a long time to come. The national anthem will be played now, marking the end of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, please collect your copy of the book from the counters set at the entrance, and we cordially invite you to join for the lunch. Good day. Now please rise for the national anthem.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Jai Hind, and thank you.